All right. Maybe it's working. Maybe it's working, maybe it's not. I'm using the new YouTube control room feature. I have no idea what's going on. But I'm here. Hello, welcome. If you're watching this after it aired live, maybe you don't want to. maybe it'll be boring. We'll hang out, talk about synths. I'll try and answer some questions, drink some coffee, and just catch up with you all. Answer whatever questions you have about synths, music production, what's going on with the channel, anything. So, bring it. I hope the audio is fine. I'm still, look here. Whoa, we have two cameras. Amazing. We have a coffee cup. No synths. I have some synths in other places somewhere. So, yeah, good day. Yeah. Hallo, ich bin Boringe Bu. Ich bin Boringe Bu. Eine Klon auf Bu, ja. This is the real Bo. Camera, focus. There we go. The real Bo and the clone. So, greetings. Hello. What's up? So if you have any questions about synths, music production, what's going on with Bo Beats on YouTube, feel free to ask them. I did promise more streams. I'm still kind of working it out in my head what I want to do when I'm live streaming, and for the meanwhile I'm just gonna hang out with you guys on occasions. A big thing that's coming up is that I'm looking to rent a studio space, because I want to live stream some, like preferably I'd like to have like one day where I live stream in the evening European time, because that makes it possible for Americans to join in on the live stream. But as you know, with family, live streaming in the evening is not ideal at home, because I'm quite noisy when I live stream in this house. But I'm looking at the studio space, so yeah, maybe we can build an epic YouTube and music production studio where I can live stream and do stuff. That's a plan. So what's up? Let's see here. Abag has a question. Here, is there a good advice to come up with non-boring sequences for sequencers for the not-so-musical theory aficionados? That's a good question. So you can, of course, go with the route that there are, like, how do you say, programs that can automate it for you, that can generate things. Sometimes I find that that's very fun, having programs generate something and then you just remove whatever sounds bad to your ears. So you're really trying to just use your own ear, your own sense of music, but you have like a starting point with something that is automatically generated. I will actually be doing a video on the Captain plugins. They do stuff like this. They can auto generate stuff. That's one way to do it. Then of course there are hardware sequencers, especially in Eurorack, that can randomize stuff for you as well. But personally, if I'm not talking like randomization, what I like to do, and maybe this is a boring answer, but what I like to do is I like to play a couple of chords that I like, and then just slap on an arpeggiator. In Ableton Live, there's a couple of the ones that do like pretty weird arpeggios, and just kind of tweak them and see what comes out. Sometimes I even do it with drums. So I do like arpeggiated drum sequences. So just a couple of ideas, maybe somebody in the chat has an idea as well. Being noisy when you stream. Yeah, when I live stream, I talk pretty loud, and my house is not very soundproofed, so you can wake up the kids. They're sleeping next room. Good morning. You create your reality. What's up? What's up? I love that nickname. So let me just see who is here. Oscillator Sync. Good seeing you, buddy. Oscillator says he's gonna look so stylish. Oh yeah. John V is here. He says I ordered 2x of the Korg NTS1. Oh, cool, awesome. But neither has shipped yet, so that's a shame. Olival, That name it trips me every time. Good seeing you, buddy. Technobear is here as well. Uh, he says, perhaps someone can go and knock on his dressing room door. Yeah, I have like a beautiful Bow Beats dressing room. Lee Tronics is here. Let's see here. Evil is here. D9. Johnny Jones. Ivar. Hello, Ivar. Good seeing you, buddy. And yeah. FR Plus asks, Monostation a good sequence? A good sequencer, I suppose you were asking? Yeah, the Monostation is actually quite the fun sequencer. It's a very... The Monostation is one of those... You know when people say like, oh, where's the originality? Where's the uniqueness? Why is everything the same? And then you look at something like the Monostation and you say like, why didn't more people buy it then? Because it's really unique. It's not something I've been using a lot, to be very frank. Like, I think it's more so time issues in general for me, but it's a very unique product, and the sequencer is really cool. Asti asks, Drum Brute Impact worth it? Yeah, I think so. I think it's one of the more interesting drum machines at that price point. Fab said asks, Bo, would you recommend a Digitact or an Analog Rhythm Mark 1 in addition to an Analog Keys and an Ovation Peak? That's a tough one. I mean, if you want to sequence the Novation Peak from something with a hardware sequencer, I would go with the Digitact. But if you feel... I mean, the Digitact or Analog Rhythm is not really... They're similar, but it's not an apples to apples comparison. The Digitact is what I call a creative sampler, and the Analog Rhythm, while it can do sampling as well, is an analog drum machine. So to me, I mean, to really drill it down, I would say, what's more important to you, an analog drum machine or a creative sampler? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And if you want something with MIDI sequencing capabilities, then I would go for the Digitact, without a doubt. With the latest update to the Analog Rhythm, you can sequence external gear with it, but it's just not anywhere near the sequencing capabilities of the Digitact. So, do you want a sequencer and a creative sampler, or do you want an analog drum machine? That's pretty much it. Evil asks, do you feel like cheating when you use these auto-generating plugins and sequencers? No, actually no. Absolutely not. Because you see, music... let me see, how can I put this in an analogy? So, if you are only combining like pre-made loops that are all in key and somebody else has made the melodies, the chord progression, everything, then that's like with old EJ software, if somebody has used that. Then I'd say it's not cheating, it's just not very original. You can't ever make something original with it. But if you're using auto-generated sequences, you get help with your chord progressions because you lack the music theory, you're still using your ear. It's not that the programs can make something sound lovely for you. Like, you still have to put in the work. You can make stuff that sounds boring, that is bland, that is whatever, but it helps you find things that you wouldn't find otherwise. It's a bit like having a roadmap of sorts, I guess. Like a music theory roadmap in those programs. They can help you generate things in key or interesting things to get started, but it's just a starting point. It's a bit like using a loop and cutting it up and doing something differently with it. I feel like the whole cheating thing is a little... I don't know. I feel like not very many serious music producers think like that. When I talk to professionals who are like high-end professionals, in the meaning that they work with, the big acts, when I talk to them, they don't really think like that. They use splice a lot, they use loops. There's many different ways to do it. And of course, I think originality trumps most things. But I also think that something original, something unique can come out of something pre-existing, like you remixing a loop, for example. In my next track I'm working on, I'm actually remixing. I just accidentally stumbled upon a drum loop, and I've been starting to cut it up and do variations. I'm gonna ask a few friends who are great drummers to help me add stuff to it. So having that as starting points, I think it's weird to see it as cheating. Actually, I think it's a weird kind of, because cheating is an ethical question, and if the art that comes out of it is good, then I don't think it's so much of a question, really. But if you're just like taking pre-existing things and slapping it together randomly, and it doesn't amount to much, then people will just say it's boring or uninteresting. Thomas Berner is here as well from Germany. Hallo, guten Tag, wie geht's? Let's see here. Vulcanized, good seeing you here, buddy. Awesome. Photox asks, what percentage of your gear is disconnected and stored on average? Well, that's a good question. I've been meaning to maybe make a video about this. I've gone through many different phases, as anybody who has followed the channel knows. And I've done started with the circuit in like a small setup and did a lot of small setups. And then I did like the big setup. So last summer, I think I had like, I don't know, 80% of my gear hooked up here in the studio. And while it was fun, and I made some stuff that I'll probably finish in the near future when the stars and moons align, ultimately I felt that it was a little bit too much stuff in too little of an area. I had a hard time like getting around stuff. And, yeah. So now I think I have my U-rack. It's under the table here. It's easy to just fold up and put down there, and I can bring it out whenever I want to. And then I have a stand here with about 3 synths. Yeah. And so maybe 70% is stored away currently. But if I get the studio space that I was talking about earlier, if I actually get that, because that space is like 3 times larger than this, my idea would be to have a synth corner for maybe live jamming and stuff like that I could use for live streams, for example, and do something like that. But as is with this setup that I'm running here currently, I just don't have space. I have like the matriarch is out and about. I have the wave state, the argon. The argon is under. I don't think you can see it. No, the argon is like down here. I have the Minilogue, the original Minilogue is out as well. So. Sorry. Ralph asks, do you know if a sequencer is planned for the Hydrasynth? No, I don't have any insights to whatever updates are coming for the Hydrasynth. Hannes says hi. Hi back to you. Let's see here. Olival says loops and vinyl sampling is not cheating either, just another form of making music. Yeah, I think like I think you can always have a discussion like about the originality of art and if the art is expressing something unique. But I think reducing it to using a loop or a sample or something like, and saying that particular technique makes the art bad is problematic. It's a very reductionistic way of looking at the whole thing. Are you at Superboot 2020? Yes, I'm going to Superboot 2020. That's coming up. I have it planned out. First, I'm actually heading over to Arturia for a little thing, and then I'm going to Superboot. And I'll be covering it as I did last year. It was a lot of fun, and meeting a lot of you, which was a lot of fun as well. Hey guys! No, he's not Omri. Facundo. Hey guys! Let's see if I can do. can I do? Let's see here. Wait, where's yeah? Hey guys, today we are looking at the water bottle. It is we're gonna connect it to the VCV rack and have a glass of wine. Okay, that was bad. That was so bad. Olival, I want a score. I want a Omri Cohen impersonation score from you, Olival. Do I think that depression makes people more creative? No, not in general. Not if we're talking clinical depression. No, I think that suffering can make us more creative. I think that being through rough patches in our life can make us more creative, because if everything's like bland or like stable, you have no ups and downs. I think that it can be sometimes harder to find inspiration and find a reason to want to express certain things. But I don't think the whole idea of the suffering artist holds up, because there are so many artists that just aren't sick. So for some people it can be helpful to feel down, and that can be a source of inspiration, or whenever you get out of it, you get out of it with more insight into life or something. But I don't think by itself that it's any good. 9 volts out of 10. Thank you for that. my Omri Cohen. I love the guy, by the way, so nobody gets that wrong. I love him. He's really cool. Let's see if there were any other questions. Inky, good seeing you, Inky. I still don't have an NPC. No NPCs on Bow Beats just yet. Do you like pickles? Jonathan Shiason with the weird question. Do I like pickles? Yeah, I guess I do. Couch Camper says, Guten Tag, Bohenklon. Ja, ich bin boring in beats. Something happened to the original Bo. I don't know where he is. Yes, I saw somebody mention the video quality. It should be good, but sometimes I might get frame FPS drops. I don't know why. Elsie says, hi there, Bo. Just to chime in on the topic, I think that pain, suffering are huge inspirations to creativity, and many times the creativity itself is a form of medication. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think the what I'm saying is that when you say it's important to just separate like the clinical terms. If we're talking like clinical depression, when somebody is clinically depressed, a lot of the time they're just not very active at all. That's like part of the symptoms of depression, that you have a very, very low activity. And sometimes coming out of it can of course be can bring with it very inspiring thoughts and ideas. But yeah, so I think we have to separate it from suffering or having troubles in your life. I mean, I draw a lot on like having bad periods in my life. I think that it's something that I can draw from a lot of the time. I don't think it's something you should avoid as a creative person. I think in general, I've talked about this before. I think I did like a Patreon video about that, like having something of meaning to say. And oftentimes I feel like in the periods of my life where I just went to work, I'd done my work, where life has been like very flat, I felt I had less to say. But when I was struggling more, I felt that there was more of an urge within me to actually express something in my music or in whatever I was doing. Eraser, probably not the 1 minute advice videos. Like I'm trying to focus the channel a little bit more on music tech and music production. And maybe, just maybe, if I have the energy and if I feel it's a good idea, I might even do like a Bo psychology channel or something about more psychology related topics. Because to be honest, the audience that are interested in both, it's just a very small portion, like in the middle segment. Like I think there's a big audience for my more reflective videos, but I don't think that audience is necessarily the same as the ones that want to watch 30 minutes of a sound demo. So so I am considering, I have a lot of ideas about doing like a psychology related channel, but it's been something that I've kept away from a little bit, because I didn't feel mature enough to do it. I wanted to do it in a serious way, in a very thought out kind of way. Not what I'm doing here with synths. Like it feels so. It doesn't feel very serious to play around on synths. It feels like I can do a little bit of whatever I want. But if I want to tackle complicated topics, like why are you depressed, or I don't know, what's a panic attack or something like that, then I want to do it in a more serious format. And shorter advice videos might fit that kind of channel a little better, I think. Superfly says, "Hi Bo, I've been saving up for my first real polysynth for a while. Is there anything you recommend? I'm mostly interested in things like the Moog 1, Prophet 6, OB6, Core Kronos." Yeah, well, no, not really. Not like those are some high-end nice synths. I haven't really tried. I tried the Moog 1 a bit. I mean, that's of course like a very serious synth. You should go and check out Geosynths. Geosynths on YouTube. He has a lot of videos on the Moog 1. Prophet 6 and OB6 seems really good. I'd take any of them. But no, I don't really have, like, for those kind of high-end polys. I think you can't really go wrong. Of course, the Moog 1 is, I guess it's double the price of OB6 almost. So, just make sure that it's what you want. Oh, great! Leadtronics has a Moog 1, and he's saying that it's fantastic, but it also lacks in certain areas. But you would not be disappointed. Yeah, I think like the Moog 1, if you have that kind of cash and if you want to spend on something that you can grow with, I think it's probably not a bad buy, unless you're really like putting yourself into debt or something, or if you have other expenses, maybe you should, be a little careful about that. Oh yeah, Summit as well. Summit's a good alternative as well. Summit has quite a different tone. I mean, the Peak in general has quite a different tone to it compared to say the OB6 or Prophet, I think. Let's see if there's any other questions. Okay, so MA had a question here. Hey Bo, I tried to buy the Novation SL Mark III today, but I wasn't able to try it out. I was wondering if you had any opinion on the SL Mark III versus the native A series in terms of piano keys. The A series, let's see, the A series are the smaller ones, right? In general, I prefer the keybeds of the Native Instruments keyboards, and I prefer like the sequencer part of the Novation keyboard. Like, I'm not the best at judging keyboard qualities, but I can definitely feel that there's a difference. There's a little bit more. The keys on the Native, they have like their own little design. They're not Fatar, from what I know, at least not on the cheaper ones, but there's if you compare, for example, the M32 from Native Instruments and the new launch key, The small one, the Launch Key Mini from Novation, the keys are just like night and day. Like it's a huge difference in quality on the keys. Like of course they're very small, so neither is great, but yeah, the quality difference is really big. There's a huge quality difference, to be honest, even for such a small keyboard. So I think that the functionality is often maybe like on the SL Mark III, the functionality is really good with the sequencer and the Ableton Live support in particular. But then on Native Instruments side, you do have, I think, a little bit more of a quality keyboard. That's my take on it. Volcanize asked, has DAWless turned into DAW more in the last couple of months? Yeah, I'm actually using a DAW much more now because I do want to put out a bit more music, and I'm just finding that it's, and I've actually always said this, that if you want to be productive, if your goal is to output a lot of tracks, then a DAW is just superior in almost every way, purely like objectively. And this is the reason why you see most professionals don't go the route of DAWless for their their music production to output a lot. But then again, there's like, it's not an either or. What I want to have, like I'm really missing having like a proper DAWless setup somewhere in the room, because it's a lot of fun. You get a lot of inspiration. I just hooked up, you can't see it, it's right over there. I have the URAC here with the Beat Step hooked up. I'm testing out the drum module from Endorphins, and it's just a ton of fun. But I do try and focus a little bit more on doing stuff in a DAW because it's more productive. It's quicker. Leatronics. So the Organ 8 and Wave State, I feel it's the biggest. I don't know if you guys agree with me. I feel that Organ 8 versus the Wave State is like the biggest confusion ever. I mean, if you're looking at Wave State and you're saying, damn, that's a nice synth. Should I get this or Organ 8? Or reversely, you say Organ 8, this is a nice synth. Should I get the Wave State instead? I feel like maybe you need to kind of go a little deeper what you're after, what kind of product and what kind of needs you have, because they're so very, very different. I mean, you could always say that there are technical similarities or that they can do similar things, but in terms of instruments, I feel like it's comparing like a guitar to a bass. Like, yeah, sure, they have strings and they look similar, but they're very different instruments. They fit very different roles in a setup. What I would say is that Wave State is it's more, I've said it before, it's not a Rompler in the sense that it's not a Modi X from Yamaha, but it does share similarities with something like the Modi X, something like the Jupiter XM, in that it's a very broad synth. It can do a wide range, beautiful pianos, beautiful synth sounds, pads, whatever. And it's also very deep in terms of what you can program. Some people don't know this, but the Modi X from Yamaha, you can do some really cool modulations, wide soundscapes. But it's not the same kind of synthesizer as an Organ 8. And the Organ 8 doesn't have that kind of width in terms of what sounds it can produce. It's still, a lot of sounds sound similar. They have similar characteristics. But this is also why I think it's an interesting instrument. It's like you pick it up and it has a distinct tone. If you don't like it, it's fine. It's not for you. But if you want a kind of, I don't know, how do you say, like, without making the sound. I know that I use the word brittle. Some people don't like that word, but it's like glassy, brittle. It's like very fine details in the sound, which is interesting to me at least. Then it has a lot going for it. But if you just want smooth pads, you want to pads and pianos, you want to make big sounds, press one button and you get a huge sound, then we have the Wave State. Like, And you could do a lot of complex things with Wavestave. I'm not knocking it in any way. It's a very nicely designed synth, but they're just so very different. So I'm not sure if this makes any sense. I'm just trying to kind of express my feelings about two instruments that are, yeah, more dissimilar than similar, I suppose. Good boy, I'm wishing you luck with that purchase. I need an MPC-1 too, Inky. I need one. I'm actually very curious about MPC-1. It's just something about it. Ville asks, what's your favorite Electron gear? I remember you made a video about the Octatrack Mark II some time ago, but do you frequently use the Octa in your studio setup? I don't use the Octa that frequently in my studio setup. I actually prefer the Octa. To me, it's a little bit like the Deluge. It's even a little bit like the Digitact for me, and the Analog Rhythm. Those are like devices that I like to put on the table and work with standalone. I made I think I made 2 or 3 tracks. I think 2 of them are out on Bandcamp. We can have a listen. Can you help me out, guys? I'm not entirely sure if I can do this. I think I can do it. I think I can play music live on stream. So let me just show you a track that I made. Let me find it for you. Let me find it. Let's see if it's. Let's see if it works. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait. How do I do this? I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit here, the volume. Oh, wait! Somebody calls me. Oop. Let's see here. Can you hear it? Not sure if it plays, but anyway, if you could. Whoa, wait! Did I just break the stream or something? Maybe I did. I'm sorry if I fucked up somebody's speakers. Wait, where's? Ah, never mind. I shouldn't do this live. I should check it out. Okay. Well, Bitcrusher Master Channel. Okay, maybe it sounded fucked up. Sorry. Oh, sorry for the language as well. Yeah, I think maybe I messed it up. I'm not entirely sure how to set this up properly in the live streaming environment. Oh well. Anyway, I love to put the Octatrack like proper on camera. Let's see here. Give me a second. I just need to. I'm just gonna be right back. I need to check what that call was about. Give me a second. I found a toy truck, and of course it was just a salesman who called. But the number looked funny, so I wanted to check it out. So let's see here. Are there any other questions that we have going on? Why do I have a toy truck? I just found it on the way back. Let me see. I've unmuted everything. Yes. Let's see here. Woody, what's up, Woody? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Plot twist: he's getting more coffee. No, I still have the coffee here. But yeah. No, I just went away to answer a phone call. Of course, it was just a salesman. Tibor? I actually don't know. I haven't heard. Like the thing with analog synths is that you often get more like noise and stuff that bleeds through, but I actually don't know. Yeah, that's a good mug. Yes, it's a good mug. It's the original bow, and I'm the clone. So good seeing you, Mick, as well. I don't know if this is an expected behavior. I haven't noticed it or tried it. So it's hard to say. Let's see here. Nelson, good seeing you as well. What are my thoughts on MIDI 2.0? To be honest, I haven't read up much on it. I'm kind of just, I don't know. I think it's probably, I mean, from what I've learned about it, it seems cool, it seems good. I'm just waiting for people to adapt to it, I guess. Synracer, good morning. Photox, could you think of synthesis algorithms that has not existed yet? Well, if I think about it, it exists. A conundrum. No, but honestly, no. No. I'm not smart enough for that. Jay, good seeing you here. And yes, a lot of familiar faces. I hope everybody is having a good day. Let me know what synth is currently like that you have or that you're looking to check out. What synth is currently on your radar or is currently something that you are excited about, like if something you have or something you want to check out. Let me know in the chat. I'm kind of curious to hear what's going on in your life and what you have been what you've been interested in for these I guess the last couple of weeks or so. Julie asks what USB hub I use. I actually have the, of course, the Electron fanboy has the Electron USB hub. But yes, I use the Overhub. So Jay asks, I have a band where I'm the synth guy. So far, I managed this with the TR8S, Minilogue, and Keystep from Arturia. Do you think the Digitac would replace the Keystep and the TR8S? I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing with the Keystep, how much you're playing the keys. But yeah, in a certain way, the Digitact can, because the Digitact has a sequencer and you can load whatever drum sounds you want. So sure, yeah, in a sense, the Digitact could replace, and it would also give you more sequencing capabilities, but it would give you a little bit less hands-on control over the drums because the TR8S has more, more controls on it, basically. Hey, is Omri here? Hey! Hello. Hello, today we're checking out this Visivirak water bottle. What's up, Omri? Good seeing you, buddy. The real one is here. Davnar says, love your work, Bo. Thank you. And just found an MC505, much more powerful and usable than expected. Very happy. Yeah, like the old groove boxes in general are very powerful. I think that sometimes when people compare them, I think that the comparison to the new ones, the MC77 for example, are a little unfair because while the old groove boxes do sound really good, the new ones sound a lot better, to be honest. Like the synth engines, like if you go back to the RS7000, RM1X, the old MCs, like they're really good, or Electribes. It's not that they sound bad, it's just that the new ones tend to have, you know, a little bit better sound quality overall, at least to my ear. But sometimes they they actually lack features that the old ones have. Teklitas says, hi Bo, nice haircut. Well, thank you. I'm happy that you think so. All of your approval. I need your approval. It's important. It was a major step. No, but thank you so much. I was happy that I got mostly positive comments and a little some sad faces that the long hair was gone. Yes. So the question. I was thinking about the Roland JD-Xi. I want to buy it as my first synth workstation. To be honest, not a fan of the JD series at all. Not a fan. I think that they feel very plasticky. I don't know. They sound okay, I guess. They sound good even. But I can't get over like the whole design and feel of the synths. And I think I guess I think that there's just a lot of competition out there. So yeah, not a big fan. Omri says, Bo, how do you approach making or building presets? Do you have something in mind and go for it, or do you explore and experiment until something happens? I rarely have something in mind. I approach sound design very much from what you'd almost call a naive point of view. So sometimes it's even that I don't fully. For some synths, it's been that I don't fully understand all the functions even. So I just experiment. I go with it until I find something which resonates with me. So it's less about creating a product. Okay, so for this pack, I want 10 pads, 10 bass, 10 leads. I want warm pad, a bright pad, a shimmer pad, or whatever you could call them. And it's much more that I want to create something which resonates with me. And you know, I think it's a good approach in general when it comes to sound design, because I mean, we've heard there, you know, nothing is really original, I suppose, but I think that if you try and just see it as a sculpting process where something will eventually hit a nerve, it's a bit like music, I suppose, in that sense. I think then it becomes more of a creative process and it becomes more interesting. I think setting out to say like, okay, I'm gonna make a drum sound. Sure, I mean you can limit yourself and say like, I'm gonna try and make something plucky, but generally I just okay. So I tried to make a drum sound, but it turned out to be this bassy drone instead. Okay, you know, if that's where the sound took me, that's where the sound took me. Philip says, you look like Conan and the Silver Surfer had a child. that's a really fun one. Conan and the Silver Surfer had a child. Yes, I can see what you're going for. Yeah, yes, I Matthias. Matthias asks, "Hello, Bo. I'm currently using a Prologue as my main machine, and I'm looking to expand my studio setup. Should I go for something like the Deckard Stream Mark II or Syntherex? Oh, damn. Those are two synths I have very little experience with. Now, my buddy Ricky Tines, he has used the Deckard Stream a lot in his videos, and from hearing him showcase it, it seems like an excellent synth. A bit pricey, of course, because it's a small company. It's a kind of a how do you say, like it's an indie thing, but yeah, it seems really cool. But I can't really speak to it because I haven't tried it that much, or I haven't tried it at all. Sorry, I tried it that much. Sometimes it feels like you've tried stuff because you've seen like 20 videos about it. No, I haven't had any hands-on experience with it. It seems cool, but yeah, I couldn't speak on it. Sky says, "Hi Bo, thanks for the coffee break entertainment. Glad YouTube works out for some of you synth music nerds. Thank you for your work." Yeah, thank you too for being here. And yeah, it's been working out pretty well for me. Na, na, na. Main says, "I'm on my way to work. Would much rather be playing with my MC707 and Microfreak." Now, that makes sense to me. Do I have a Moog Sub 37? Yes, I have. It's actually one of the first hardware synths that I bought when I started the channel and kind of was getting back into music production after a little break. And yeah, so the Moog Sub 37, picked it up, was it 2016 maybe? Yeah. I always have this dream of doing like some kind of cool review of it. I've made like some kind of sound demos with it, just experimental stuff. I have this dream of like just setting aside like 2 weeks and making some really proper content, like maybe like a one track, just using it or something. I don't know why. I guess it's one of those. Yeah, I'm not sure if I will ever do it, but I have it. It's actually tucked away in a closet. It's a closeted synth at the moment, and yeah, maybe I'll let it out someday. Maybe it can come out and play someday. Thank you, Matthias. Yeah, the video I did on the Sign Vibes plugins, I think it's really cool. Like Korg hasn't been the reason why I wanted to do a video with Sign Vibes, beside him being like a really cool guy, and I'm all about like supporting cool people in the scene who do interesting stuff. Like I'm happy to promote their stuff for free and just help them get more eyeballs on what they're doing. But besides him being a cool guy making really cool plugins and stuff, like beside that, I thought that Korg hasn't really been putting in the effort to promote their own platform, so I'll happily do it for them. No, I just think that the whole idea of like custom oscillator, custom effects is really novel, and it's really cool, and it's something super good. Like it's something where you can expand. It's not just adding more buying presets or adding presets to your synths. It's adding functionality after functionality, and I think that it's just something I'd love to see in more synths. Like imagine if you had like an Electron synth where you could have like two custom effects or something that people could build. Like imagine the like mind blown. Imagine the cool stuff that could come out of it. Like it would be so cool. Like, to me, it's the next step. If I have anything I'd like to see more of in the next few years, it's these hardware software integrations where you could build on the hardware platform with custom effects, custom oscillators, custom functionality, utility stuff. That would be so cool. That would be so nice. James Dyson says, hello Bo, love the channel. Thank you. A lot of love right back to you for being here and checking it out. Do you think that we will see a new type of synthesis engine anytime soon? Originality. I don't know. That's such a hard question. I think we're already seeing interesting stuff with something like the Minilog XD, like I talked about, with the custom oscillators, with the digital and analog combinations. But nothing, I mean, it's nothing really truly new, I guess. So. Could you please show your coffee cup? Of course. Here's my coffee cup. Let me see if I can make it focus. Focus on the fake cup. Here's the cup. So I got this cup when I was at the Native Instrument event called Creator Base. So it's not merch. I don't sell it or anything. And it was made for us. So each attendee had a coffee cup made with their face on. But now it's, here I am. It's actually, it's a little out of date, you could say. I'm looking for drum machine. Is the model samples worth it? Like if you, as a drum machine, it's more, to me it's more in the, it's more fun as a creative sample player. I wouldn't say it's a go-to recommendation for a drum machine. The Skin Flutes official, that name though. Hi Bo, hi to you as well, that name. Inky says, what did I miss? Popped out to get a breaky. Inky, you missed, I was just going on this big rant about the MPC being trash. No, I'm just kidding. Inky and I, we have a good back and forth about the MPC. No, I think the MPC looks very fun. But I also hear from reputable sources that my initial claims are correct. The MC707 lacks in the sampling department, has a great synth engine. The MPC, really good sampler, not as strong when it comes to the synth sounds. That's what I hear from sources I trust. TR8 is still relevant? Question mark? Yeah, sure. I think the TR8S, a used one, you could get it very cheaply. I think it's an excellent drum machine. I'd rather recommend like a TR8 or TR8S over like a Model Samples if you want a drum machine. Woody, do you have a JDXI? Have you used it? What's your take on it? La 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 la. Mark, sure. Sorry, Mark. It's like in my brain, in my mind, it's like I can pronounce your last name, but Mark Shuren. I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm butchering it. Mark Shuren. You have to put it out phonetically or something for me. Okay, Sonic Neutronic asks, quiz Bo. A quiz for Bo. Is it in the closet or not? 1. Craft Synth 2.0. Yes, that's in a box. 2. Analog 4 and rhythm. No, the analog 4 and rhythm is... Up. Doo-doo! Analog 4. It's sitting right over there. So, no, it's not in a closet. I have like a rack of synths here that I use, and then I have some in a closet. Let's see here. Yes, the polygonal, the URAC module. That one was kind of cool. I don't remember the name. Skinflutes has a bearing question. Is it good a marketing strategy announcing products without giving prices and availability? In a sense, yes, because what they're doing is that their strategy is predicated on the fact that people will assume that the prices will be good, that the availability will be great in some time, and that everything will be affordable and useful and great and blah blah blah, because they've kind of set an example with some of their earlier products. So what I think they're doing is pretty smart from a marketing perspective. Basically, I think that the compute wait, what was the name? CMD or whatever, the CMD blog, wrote something that we nowadays we equate Behringer with like low prices, great prices. So they don't even have to put out a price initially because everybody assumes that it will be great. So, and because these kind of first assumptions really matter a lot, I think it's a very smart marketing tactic. Davnar, I don't really have that much insight into what Behringer are doing or if it will happen or not. I think they will deliver in general on what they're saying. I mean, it seems that way anyway, to me. Rossi asks, "Hi Bo, are you still using Ableton or did you go back to Cubase?" I ask because I recently made the switch to Cubase. Well, the thing is, I'm using both. I'm using Ableton more right now because I want to get into it. I want to learn more. I think it's just like Bitwig. They are very like creative DAWs. I have a lot of fun in them. It's easy to set up interesting modulations and stuff like that. Things that are a little bit more cumbersome in Cubase. I still miss a lot of functionality from Cubase. There are a ton of things which annoy the crap out of me with Ableton. For example, where is the goddamn mixer when you are in the arranger mode? Like, what's the point of having an arranger mode with like a linear timeline if I can't get the mixer beneath it? Like, I don't see the point. It would be so easy for them just to have a tab, like on, if you look at the new Cubase updates, you can just, you can tab between different views in the arrangement view. So you could have like the mixer down there, or you could tab back and have the instrument view, I suppose it is. Photox, what do you think about the Roland Zen stuff? I think they're developing like a synth platform. I think that they probably saw some limitations with the ACB technology and they kept developing it. They wanted something, they realized that something cross-platform would be a lot better. I mean, they've done the boutiques, they're okay for what they are. And now they're developing the Zen Core platform. And if they can deliver on the promise that we can exchange sounds between the different devices, I think that this is really good. I've said it before that they should make an online platform where they could have users share presets, maybe even sell presets. I don't know. That could be really good. So I think that for some people this could be valuable if Roland can deliver on this promise of having this exchange between the devices and creating their own little ecosystem. I think it sounds good also, the engine. Facundo asked, what do you think about Arturia VST? Yeah, I think they sound good. I'm actually using the delays a lot. The Eternity delay from Arturia, I'm using it on my latest track and my new track I'm working on. I kind of like it. It's hard for me. I think a lot of the VSTs, it's not a night and day difference in terms of sound. Okay, Woody, you agree that you agree about the like I'm not saying that the JDXI is like fragile. I'm not sure like if that's my problem. It's more, I know some people don't like this argument, but I think it makes a lot of sense. Like if you pay half of the fun of a device like this is that you enjoy the physicality of it. Like the way it's laid out, it's a proper instrument, the way you create on it. That's half the fun for me. And if a product doesn't speak to me in terms of design, that's half the thing. Like I put out a review the other day. I don't know if you saw it, about this little audio interface. I didn't get paid to talk about it. They sent one over, and they sent one over because I thought that it looked kind of nice. Like the whole, for me, like there's so many different audio interfaces, for example, at the same price point. And the only reason why I agreed to check it out was because, yeah, it spoke to me. The design language spoke to me. And the functionality. Like, imagine if you're sitting at a little coffee shop or something, super hipster. And you have this, like, here. You have a short cable. Like, it doesn't take up too much space, and I still get decent audio quality. I get decent latency when I'm working from a coffee shop. So to me, it's very much about. It's a very big part of how I approach an instrument. Is like, how does it feel to work with, and also utility stuff like an audio interface, like. Because a lot of the time, the functionality, for example, the sounds you can make with a VST, you can make it with another synth. So it's more so the workflow, it's more so the feel of the instrument. I mean, if you look at guitars, like guitars are functionally almost always very similar. But still, the feeling of playing different guitars are, of course, I don't dare sitting here and guess how much of a difference it makes to a lot of people, but I can just assume that it makes a huge difference to a lot of people, the feeling of certain instruments. And the same goes for utility stuff. I mean, if you mean like headphones, like a big part of a headphone, like people pretend like headphones are like, oh, it's all about the sound quality. Yeah, if you're like an audiophile, or if you're super, super, super into it, then maybe, yeah, you're great at determining this. But a large percent is the fit, how they feel on your ear. Of course, audio quality is important, but it's not the only factor. It's like one of the factors that you have to think about when you buy something, and how I look at stuff. So when I'll do my headphones review, I think I'll talk about like the sound. I like the sound characteristic. And then I'll talk about like, oh wait, did it die? Yeah. And then I'll talk about probably a lot about the fit and like the build, because I think that's a huge part of it. And also it does affect, like, for example, bass response if the headphones doesn't fit very well on your ears. For example, at Audio Technica, the M50X, they're pretty good. They're pretty good for what they are. But if you have big ears, they won't fit very well, and of course your bass response will be, diminished because of the fit. At least that's how I've understood it. Dietrich Kappe. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. Any inside knowledge, innovation circuit, next generation? No, I'm sorry. I wish I had. So I'm working. I might put out a little video. Do you think that, Dietrich, do you think this is a fun idea? I have asked over on the Circuit Owners Forum for feedback, like what would people want out of a Circuit 2.0, a Circuit XL, Circuit Pro, and I might make one of those dear. I made one dear Roland, and I I want to make one with the circuit, like dear innovation. Can we get a Circuit Mark II? And I have a few ideas. Like the big thing, of course, is whether they go the route of like adding a screen or if they go with the no screen approach, because I think it's a pretty big divider. I mean, to be honest, like I don't have an insight if there's a Circuit 2.0 coming or something like that, but I would be amazed if they didn't make an update. I would be amazed, like if they didn't make a Circuit Mark II. I think that the most likely thing is a Circuit Mark II, and not going too far away from their design philosophy with the Circuit. But yeah, maybe they'll do like a Circuit Pro, something bigger, something so they can keep the original Circuit. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a good question, Omri. So Omri has a non-synth related question. How do you take care of your health and body with everything you do? I'm sure that you sit many hours making and editing videos. The answer is, and I saw a question earlier, like what do my wife think about my YouTube life? The answer is I don't really take very good care of myself, physically, mentally, like I should. I'm trying to. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to divide my days. So after like not spending more than half a day sitting and then doing something which is more physical, cleaning, rearranging stuff or going out, or yeah, I'm trying just to change up my environment, I suppose, and what I do in it, like go out, maybe have a coffee or something and work on a script or something and vary what I do. But in all honesty, it's not my strong suit. Like it's not something I'm good at. And it's also, I'm coming from a history of having, not the most balanced work life. And also being a psychotherapist, I sat down a lot and that didn't feel good. I sat down for like 7 out of 8 hours of a work day. And of course, I started to gain weight, and I started to have pains in my stomach and in my back, and that was also a factor why I left that job, because I didn't see any way of really managing it in that sort of institution that was working. So I think it's better nowadays, but yeah, I don't really have a really good answer. I'm looking to buy a better chair. Like I like my DX Racer, but I'm looking to buy a better chair at least. Yeah, Davnar, that's a good question. Take a good answer. Take a field recorder with me and go out and walk. Yeah, I'm trying to. Olival says, take care of yourself, Bo, because the Boehringer clone is so bad. I prefer the vintage one. Yeah, the Boehringer Beats clone with the broken back. Yeah, I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it, but I want to be like honest. Like the amount of work it takes to live like a full-time kind of creative, I guess, when you're not employed and when you're not really making a product. You're more like trying to express yourself and do whatever that makes sense to you creatively. It's a lot of work and it does take a toll. So I think it's very important not to romanticize it. I think people forget sometimes the amount of dedication and time it takes. And I know this from talking to pretty much every one of the synth YouTubers, that it's a lot of work. It's hard hours, sometimes long hours. It's hard, hard working days. It can be quite stressful. Oh, one thing I'm doing is this is a fun announcement. I'm actually going to Stockholm in March. So this is something I set up myself. So in March, I'm very happy. Yeah, I haven't told anybody about this. So you guys are the first to hear it. In March, I'm going to Stockholm. I'm gonna do one kind of job for a software company. Gonna go there, check out their software. And I think that could be a really fun video as well. Going there and, seeing their offices and stuff like that. So that's something I wanted to do. And then I'm spending the rest, I'm going to be in Stockholm for a week. Wait, Woody, you're in Stockholm. Of course, we got to meet. We're going to do a little YouTuber meetup in Stockholm. Of course. You're in Stockholm, right? Or am I wrong? Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be in Stockholm for a week. Gonna do one thing with the software company, and then I am going to visit a friend. He and his pal built a professional studio, so I'm gonna go there. Gonna do a little, probably some kind of studio tour. We're gonna do a really cool video idea I have, which is like 5 ways to spice up your drums, like to improve your drums on a song, because I'm not a really good percussionist, a drummer. So yeah. And they are professional drummers, like they're very knowledgeable, classically schooled and everything. So that's a video idea I have. And then I hope I can meet Simon the Magpie. I hope we can do something. Maybe Jacob Hack, he's in Stockholm too. Maybe we can do something. Then I'm going to visit the guys who run Sweden's best podcast about music production. So we're going to do something, probably something on the topic of internet myths. So something on that topic, like internet music producer myths, not general myths. So something about music production and like weird ideas people have online. And I hope to answer some questions. Maybe they can, tell me how wrong I am about some of my preconceived ideas. But they're very professional guys. They work with some of Sweden's biggest acts, like professionally. And I hope to do a little studio tour with them as well. So that's coming up, and that's one way for me to also alleviate some stress and change up what I do on a day, going to Stockholm instead and just being there for a week and doing other things. So that's one way that I alleviate some of the stress in my life, and also I get to walk around more and get out more. So long-winded answer. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna check out the music software when I'm in Stockholm. Wouldn't make much sense otherwise. La 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 la. Yeah, that's awesome, Woody. Yeah, I'll try and hit you up. I'm gonna try to remember this, but yes, if I don't like email you within a week, please poke at me, because now when I'm streaming, I'm probably gonna not remember it. But yes, we should definitely meet up. DSS, I'm excited for the drum video. That's something I've been struggling with myself, as I've only ever played piano and synths. Yeah, it's the same for me. Like I'm programming a lot of drums and I don't really have that, I don't have the groove in my body. So I think we can do something cool. Me and the guys, there are 2 young guys who have built a professional percussion studio, which I think is kind of funny. And I might do a tour as well, because I want to pick their brain. Like, why do you put all your savings into a professional studio? Like what's the thought process, and how's it working out for them? I think that could be fun angles. Yes, Jim. Yes. I'm gonna visit Reason Studios. Yes, that's correct. You're right on the money there. So I'm gonna check out. The idea is I'm gonna go to Propellerheads and check out Reason because I think it's interesting, but I don't know that much about it. So I think it could be an interesting little, visit. Lee, I'm currently not using the 8 Pre. I will use it. I'm my little studio corner here. I've sort of, yeah. It's a work in progress. I have the idea is to use the AudioFuse Studio and the 8 Pre when the studio comes. Yeah, Accurate is closer to where I live actually. But to answer your question, Lee, I think that I've used 8 Pre quite a lot. I used it over on the editing table for quite some time, and it held up really well. Matthias, I'm not using the TC Electronic Hall of Fame that much right now. I used it a lot like a couple of years back, but yeah, I got the Eventide H9, so I think that gets the attention. Yeah, Sonic Neutronic, that would be cool with a little updated rebirth. Yeah, okay. So we've been live for a while, and hopefully, you guys have found the stream entertaining and that I've managed to answer a couple of your questions. And yeah, if you have any other questions, now is a good time to drop them because I think I'll start ending the stream in about 10 minutes or so. McEnroe, thank you so much. I'm happy that the haircut turned out good. I was a little worried. Let me see if I missed some other question. Teklitas asks, what do you think about buying a Korg Monologue as a first synth to learn basic synthesis? I would go with a poly. I've always said this. It's my firm belief that you should have a polysynth if you want to learn synthesis. Because there's so many kinds of sounds that are kind of pointless or hard to make if you don't have a poly. So instead of Monologue, I would go with a Minilogue or Minilogue XD to start out. Okay, Davnar, you've been checking out the music? That's awesome. Thank you. I don't know when they changed their name, Gudmundur. I'm not sure. I haven't been following it. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. Like Jim, I'm not quite sure. Like, I don't think they've totally like stopped using propeller heads. Have they? I'm not sure. It's a little weird if they did, because it's a name with such a legacy. But I know that they're moving over to Reason Studios for sure. Maybe they want to keep it separate so propeller heads could become something else. I'm not sure. Malta asks, beside Minilogue, I want another Poly, Digitone, or Argon 8. That's a both. That's actually an interesting like comparison to me because both have this. They're not the broadest of synths in terms of what they can do, like the most versatile, but they have like this unique character. Like I don't have a good answer to you. I would say like listen to a lot of demos and see like what kind of tone do I like, and is there any functionality that pulls you more towards the one or the other, because they are definitely synths that if you listen to a lot of sound demos and you say like I don't like this, it's pretty representative. Like it's the sound demos often give away a lot of the characteristic of that particular synth when it comes to like the Argonate, the Digitone, something like the Minilogue. They have a very distinct tone, and for some people like I don't like this, and some people go like, oh, this is right up my alley. They're very like divisive in that way, I suppose, which is cool, I think. No, Rossi, I don't have a 88 note keyboard. I don't have any. I don't have anywhere to put one, and I'm not a very good piano player, so I'm not sure if I would need one. Both sound shrill. Well, yeah, maybe Sonic Neutronic. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I agree. I think it's always a little hard to judge stuff like that from pure demos. They have. I think that if you listen to the Digitone, if you listen to my video that's called like Digitone sounds lovely, I think you'll notice that the sound is not shrill. There's a lot of like really cool textures in there for sure. I don't use the microfig that much, to be honest. I don't really. Yeah, I don't know why. I like it, but I think it's more time thing for me. Oh well, thank you so much, everybody, for being here and hanging out. It's always fun just answering a few questions. I hope you had a good time here on the stream. I'm still kind of working out if I want to stream, how I want to stream, what I want to do. But yeah, I'm gonna go and eat. Like Dan Fan asks, what is Bob eating today? Not sure. Probably soup. I think some soup would be nice. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out. As always, there are links in the description to Patreon, to Facebook and everything if there's any platform you want to connect with me on. And if you want to listen to some of my music, I think there's a Bandcamp link as well in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me this day. And I hope to stream soon and answer more questions, or maybe do something live with some of the music instruments that I have here. So have a great day. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye bye. Everything. Hej då. Ciao.